Greetings to my honorable teachers. My name is Muhammad Hasibullah and my project supervisor is Muhammad Nisrul Haq. Hope everybody is in healthy condition during this pandemic situation. These are the topics that I shall go over in this presentation. So as per my project, I have developed an e-commerce website which is based on the Node.js framework named Game Sanctuary. The main theme of this web application is people can buy as well as rent video games, and this project can be applied to any real business, and this project has been deployed on the internet. The main purpose of this web application is to make the process of buying games easy in our country. So video games are now popular like it was never before in the esports scene, in content creation as YouTubers or streamers, and also the influence it holds is beyond comprehension. It also improves our brain's flexibility and is a great cure for depression and anxiety, and also a great recreational medium. So there are many websites that is similar to mine that are renowned worldwide like eBay, Amazon, Game World, Steam, but unfortunately their services are not available in our country. Also video games can be quite costly, but they come in Blu-ray discs which is as physical medium, which are very durable, and this is one of the key reasons I have decided to include a renting policy in my web application. The main objectives of my web application is to make a process that works in our country, and have a clean, intuitive and responsive web design that works across all kinds of devices, and to include a renting policy. The technologies that I have used in the front-end side are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Bootswatch, and EJS templating engine. The technologies I have used in the backend are Node.js framework, Express, MongoDB database, and Passport.js. So we can see the structure of my project here. So all the models, all the route files, and all the web pages are in separate folders. So web pages are in views folder, routes are in routes folder, and all the data objects are in models folder, and all of these three components are separate. So Node.js follows the MVC pattern, MVC design pattern, and the route files controls how data is created, and how data is sent to the web pages, and how HTTP requests are handled. So these are the important npm modules that I used in my project. Bigtrip.js is used for hashing and sorting passwords. So ConnectFlash is used for showing flash messages. .env is used for environment variables. EJS is used as a templating engine, and Express is used for routing, and Lodash is used for string manipulation, and Mongoose is used for all the tasks related to database, like writing MongoDB queries and connecting to the database. And NodeMailer is used for using email sending services, and Passport.js is used for all sorts of tasks related to authentication. So these are some of the screenshots of the coding side of things, and basically my project deals with four kinds of data: user, order, rent, and product, and these are the table representations of those data objects with the attributes they have. So for discussing the features of my project, I have included a video, and I'll comment it over it to analyze and discuss the features of my project. So this is how the home page looks like. There is a top navbar and the image slider just below it that slides images every 3 seconds or so, and all the products are shown in grid system, and the web pages are quite responsive. As you can see, when I decrease the size of screen in a full size, 4 products are shown in a row. In tablet size, 3 products are shown, and as I go even further below, in mobile screens only 1 product is shown. And also the layout of the navbar changes as I decrease the screen size, and all of these pages are designed using a Bootstrap framework, so they are quite responsive. And the search is also quite smart. Like if I type something like cup, we can see a product named Cuphead, and that product shows up as a search result, because cup and Cuphead matches up, and this is done using JavaScript regex pattern matching. If I type something like dark, So all the products that have a dark as a substring in the title shows up. So there are two products having dark as its substring as title. So this is how the product view page looks like. When I try to buy a product, I'm taken to the login page because I'm not logged in yet, and to order something you have to be logged in. And this is the layout of the products view page. And now I'm gonna log in as an registered user. So all sorts of validations are implemented in every forms. Like if I don't type any email, only password, I'm gonna be given a dismissible alert box saying that missing credentials. So all form information needs to be filled first. So if I type a correct Gmail, registered Gmail, but a wrong password, I'm gonna be shown an error saying that password password incorrect. So I'm gonna now log in as a registered user, and the username of the registered user shows up on the top right corner, and there are options to edit profile as well as logout. So if I go into the edit profile option, I can edit the name of the user and the address of the user and also the phone number of the user. And when I click on update profile, all of this information will get updated in the corresponding database. So let's quickly order some products. So the order page looks something like this. So all the information related to order is shown in this page, like recipient name, recipient email, recipient address, mobile number, all of this. So right below, information like where I need to pay. If I choose Bcash as payment method is shown in a dismissible alert box. So there are two kinds of options for payment: Bcash and cash on delivery. If I pay using Bcash, I actually have to provide a transaction ID for the transaction that I made. So let's quickly order another product and rent this product. If I choose cash on delivery as payment method, I don't have to include I don't have to give any transaction ID. Also, pagination is also works quite well, and it is dynamic, and it is based on the number of products that I have in my database. So let's log out and now log in as an admin. So when I log in as an admin, I can also visit the home page, but when I actually go to any product view page, rather than buy or rent, I give two options: to update or delete the product. The updates products form looks something like this, and there is an extra option when I log in as an admin to go into the admin panel. So I get three options to go into the admin panel and edit my profile and log out. So the admin panel looks something like this. I have options to add product. So this is the add product from here I can add new products in my database. So view products takes me to the home page from where I can update or delete the products that I have. And if I go to view orders page, all the orders shows up that the customers actually ordered, and the order types are different. Two types of orders: buying or renting. So the first option I can see is I can send emails to any corresponding customer, the customer that ordered something. So I can send email to that customer, and if I click on send email, that so I'm gonna be shown a successful disable alert box showing that email has been sent. So let's quickly check that email has been sent properly or not. So a predefined email will be sent giving all the information related to the order that the customer provided. So as email services, I have used Gmail, and the NodeMailer package gets the job of sending email. And this is the email. that has been sent just 1 minute ago, and this is the from which email and to the customer's email. And after sending the email, the send email button gets disabled. Basically, I add a class to the button named disable to disable it, and so that I can't send email to that particular customer again regarding this order. So there are some orders related to rent, and renting has some extra attributes like when the rent starts and when the rent expires. So there is an extra option to send that rent to the rent list. This basically sends this particular order to another collection where I process all the rents in a separate collection. Now if I go to the view rents page, so all the rents show up, and there are options like cost, cashback, when the rent starts, when the rent expires, etc. So this is the Mongo shell. So here I show the local database that I am using in this project. So if I type show DBS, I'm gonna be shown all the databases that I have. So as for this project, I'm using the Game Sanctuary DB. Now if I type something like use Game Sanctuary DB, I'm currently using the Game Sanctuary DB. Now if I write show collections, so these are the 4 collections that I used for this project: orders, products, rents, and users. And if I to access to see how data I have in every collection, I can write something db.users.find.pretty to show the information in JSON format. So I have 2 users, one is a normal user and another one is admin. So these are all the admin functionalities. Now I'm gonna quickly show how I made the project go live. So I basically used Heroku's service, the service from Heroku. So all my project files are deployed in the Heroku, all the server-side codes, and I had to use a cloud-based database, and for a cloud database I used the MongoDB Atlas Cloud. So this is my cloud database, as you can see, a Game Sanctuary, and these are all the 4 collections. So Heroku actually interacts with this database for getting all the database related information, and that was the URI for accessing that cloud-based database. And this is the URI that was provided by Heroku for accessing the live project. So here I access the project that I deployed on the live server. So this has been accessed by the internet, by using the internet. So this was all for the features section. So this has been a great learning experience for me. I got to learn about a new framework called Node.js, and also how to send emails and how to make a project go live. So my project supervisor Nesrul Haq also helped me throughout building this project. He gave me invaluable advices, and also addressed some of the main issues that my project had that needed to be fixed. So he supported me all the way of building this project. So there are also some limitations, and that needs to be improved upon, like adding an OAuth. Like this is the more convenient way of building projects these days as a startup. Also, I could not implement a proper online payment method. There are services available in our country, like I could use the Bkash API, but Bkash API requires a licensed business, and also requires quite a bit of money to use their API. Also, I had to use a free server basically for hosting my database and for deploying my database and hosting my project. So it is a bit on the slower side, but this is okay, as this is just a prototype project. So this will be all for my presentation. Thank you for your time.